Good morning, Suzanne, Joy.
Good morning, Deborah, LeeAnn.
Everybody else has a podcast where they have opening music so that you know how to, like, you're entering into the space. I think ours is just our good morning greetings.
Let's sing song.
We could sing it. No, people wouldn't want that. Okay. Would you like to introduce our topic today? It's really delicious.
Sure. Today we are playing with the Divine One again, and this is her evolution key. So last week we talked about the life's work, and today we're talking about the evolution and really focusing the energy on the gift and citic state, which is all about strength and majesty. In the pulse this week, which is fantastic, of competence and bounteousness. So having those two go together, they're both from the sacral area, which is really nice because that's where we create. It's from our creation center.
Absolutely. I am. We were laughing when we were putting together the schedule about how these pulses are in, like, of course, divine alignment with the teaching of the week, or the gene key that we're discussing each of the weeks in the next 3, 4 weeks. And so where I wanted to play was, since we're speaking of this particular archetype, called the Divine One, who is a light being, who is one of the 5 pillars of the School of Light Collective. We bring forth her gene key gifts, her prime gifts, so that we may embody these. We may live in this, more and more into these states. And I'm, because my focus tends to be leadership, yours is more love or whatever. But I mean, like, we want to take these and spread this energy out in all aspects of our lives. So it's one thing to be the Divine One when you're in church or in meditation or just left your yoga class. But how do we walk through life with uh, this archetypal energy, I guess? And we began some months ago with the truth teller. We moved into the ecstatic leader, and then we just finished the last month of the wisdom keeper. So the Divine One is another separate being, but you can see how they each dance together. And when we get to play in this playground, I'm using your terms, that's a Suzanne term, how the it shifts who we become. We become multidimensional. We become integrated, or integral is the word I've been using lately, in our expansion and our development. So we're not just growing, like a fruit tree that's just growing your one branch out this way. We're going boop, 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 in all dimensions.
Yeah.
So I know that the light being doesn't have the shadowy human aspects that we do. But for us to embody these things, we need to go through the roots. We have this human body. So how do we start with, um, is it compromise and then competence? Or
Oh,
where am I at?
that's the pulse. Yeah, the pulse is
Oh, the
uh,
bounteousness, the
yeah,
14.
yeah, the fourth.
So the gift, her life, her challenge, her evolution is,
Oh,
remind me again,
her
40,
her
34. Oh, it's,
force.
yeah, I wonder why I forget that. Interestingly, it's in my chart. So I love, if you could speak more to the 14, I'm happy to dive a little bit into this 34 gene key. So what I find fascinating about this one is we grow up, I mean, immediately coming into this life and feel like we have to work, we have to cry to get what we want, we have to, um, fall as we learn to walk. I mean, there's all these uh, uh, ways of learning that tend to be where we have to push and get our name out there. And I was just telling Susanne about having a conversation, which turned into a yelling match over the weekend with my partner. Like, why do I feel like I'm not being heard, that I have to raise my voice? You know, I I teach how to be this loving being. And then when I feel threatened or scared or unheard, it gets loud. So I'm looking at that force as a shadow that is more and more we are learning how to have strength with no action. Is this where the easy is right comes in?
Yeah.
And I forget that. So this coming into this week, I made a whole list of all these financial little doodads, to-dos I have to take care of. And there are a bunch of really annoying, unfinished transactions or financial or investment or banking or just annoying things. Even my Venmo account was frozen. I mean, seriously. So I laughed this morning as I glanced at my phone, and one of the emails was from Venmo saying, "Thank you. We've reinstated your account." This has been going on for 2 months, this back and forth thing. So I just went, okay, thank you. So when we relax and allow is how that's to me the majestic strength. I don't know. Do you have anything to add to that? Because it was just
Yeah.
so
I,
beautiful.
I love that. Whenever I think of majesty, I think of putting on the crown, right? And you are the captain or the queen or the king of your own kingdom. So does it, do people with majesty run out and like,
No,
they
it's
don't
done.
allow it?
It's
Yeah.
done for you. You almost don't even have to think. And
Right.
it's the meal shows up, It's
Right.
like,
And
so
it's part of magic. It allows you to be anchored in who you are. And that strength just radiates, right? And what you just observe, what does come into your space. And so I think that's where the pausing, as Richard Rudd says with Gene Keys, pausing is a huge part of contemplation and being aware of what's happening in our thinking mind to say, oh, okay, I caught myself. Oh, that's interesting that I did that without having an attachment to it or judgment about it.
oh, and that's the key. Yeah. Can I just allow that to be there
Yeah.
and observe it? Yeah.
Well, and I think I've been watching Joe Dispenza, and I haven't been listening to him for several years, but I studied him for a while, and it's having that heart coherence
Mm.
with our bodies. Our
Hmm.
body sometimes still reacts. That's where your nervous system pops in, and it's saying fight, flight. I'm not safe. So this is about retraining our brain into a way that it's communicating effectively with our body, with our spirit, right? So we are, as you said, integrated,
Rating. Yeah.
integrated, um, integral. And that way we're not fighting against ourselves.
Yeah.
We're allowing what's coming through to come through with ease and grace.
And this is key because for many of us, especially women, we are in a constant state of having to move and prove and do more and be more, and which burns up our adrenal system, which burns up our stress hormones are on high all the time, which then our whole body gets out of whack. And then by the time we figure out our body's out of whack, then we have to work really hard to get it back so that it's serving us. So that easy is right thing is such a beautiful mantra, especially for me, who the other thing that is very confusing and that we know that we're going to continue to travel on the path of is uncertainty.
Oh yeah.
I think we are so that we have to know, we have to have the answer, we need to know what our next steps are. Can we relax into that space? And I'm going to bring up the Majesty mudra now, if that's okay
Okay.
with you. So you take your fingers, except for your index fingers, they meet like remember when you used to do the steeple in the church, but your thumbs, there's two positions. You can wrap um, your left arm, the right thumb or the left thumb on top. When the right thumb is on top, you're calling in your divine masculine, your king energy, your um, groundedness in um, that side of our energy. Which I hate to say that because we're all of it, but there is a different flavor to the yang energy that we're calling upon at this time. And then if we flip it and put the left thumb on top, we're feeling into, oh, this is my queen. And relaxing into that and letting your shoulders drop. And if you're standing, making sure your knees are not locked. It's a very receptive but powerful space to be in. And I've been playing in the receptive world lately. So this is very fascinating. So, yes. So this is Majesty.
I love that.
Yeah, and holding it to our heart space just kind of keeps us grounded. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like, well, that heart space, I mean, I think Richard was saying that it's your cells that have the certainty, right? And that,
yeah. We're training the brain to have the certainty.
right.
It's
And I,
not even our brain. Our brain is just a storage house. It's our emotional system that has all those stories in there that have meaning. And I've been really playing with that about how the meaning making that we have about this happens. We can all look at that particular thing and have a different story around it, you know?
yeah.
So what meaning are we making? And then going, is that true? You know?
Is it
So
useful?
is it, ooh,
Is it true? Is it useful? Do we still need it? Well, and I think too, the thing that's is clearly coming to me right now is just to remind ourselves, not to remind ourselves of where our energy is going. Is,
oh,
is it going in
great
you,
exercise.
right?
Mhm.
So when you are feeling spun out or like you don't know what's happening, just drop back into your heart and pull all the energy back into you,
Back in and down. Hmm.
back in and down, so that you're not here to solve everybody's problems. You're not here to solve the world's problems. You're here to be all of you. So you need to take care of this first and be divinely directed.
Yeah.
And
Allow the divine one to give us, to have some space.
allow allow the divine one to got to remember, I got to put on your crown. Just put on your crown and be able to receive the insights.
Yes. Which is
Um,
always flowing, by the way. It's like,
Absolutely.
but you know, it's funny when we want to watch something on TV, no matter what streaming channel, most people. So you turn it on and you sit and you receive that information. It's the same thing. We tune in, turn on, and turn it up. That receptive space to um, and you can even receive intuitions there. Have you noticed that? You'll
Yep.
be thinking about a problem and then you'll turn on, like, I remember Madam Secretary when I was watching her. I would screenshot so many of the things that she was saying because it was about women and leadership and about, owning your gifts and don't be afraid to show up. And I'm like, oh my God, she's talking to me. So, how do you see this gorgeous strength, majesty, gene key of 34, dancing with the bounteousness, the competence area.
Well, I love this because when um, before competence, the shadow of this, and this happens, and I think that this is where I was kind of heading, is compromise.
Mm-hmm.
Are you compromising yourself? Are you, feeling enslaved by having to do something for so many other people? So, note to self,
Mm-hmm.
competence shows up as that you are so full of yourself that it's radiating out. It's really the title of it is it's very fiery energy, and the title of it is radiating prosperity. You're radiating prosperity. Think of the majesty, okay, hanging out with your crown, radiating prosperity.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's
And prosperity isn't just, I want to be very clear because we have some very weird concepts around money and wealth and financial prosperity. Like that sometimes is spiritually not uh, a good thing. And prosperity is all prosperity. It's healthy. It's like it's your physical prosperity, your relational prosperity. Yes, financials in there too.
right.
Your spatial, your intellectual prosperity. It's open and receptive and comes from a full. And this is integral as well because
Yeah.
integral looks at things as whole. And scarcity, on the other hand, looks at, oh, I need to pay this bill. Where's the money coming from? It's very small and limited, and there is no, if I pay that, then I'm going to not have any money for this.
You never know where it's going to come from.
Yeah, versus
Yeah.
today, that in this moment, do we, and this is one of the exercises I do with one of my friends, she and I do this with each other a lot. In this moment, do I have food in the fridge? Oh, yes, I do. Do I have heat? Did I have a hot shower this morning? I mean, like all these things that are like major internet, if we didn't have these things, we would feel like, well, it is such a first world problem, whereas so many people, like the clients I have that are in Africa, their internet and their electricity is not a given. Every day is a whole new day.
Yeah.
So how do we, and then the other thing he talks about is the the birth of all of this, or the expansion of each of these things, is gratitude.
Yeah.
And then noticing and the awareness is the basis of gratitude. So how can we look at everything we are so blessed to have in our life? Am I breathing? I may not feel well, but
Things are changing.
yeah,
And
always.
the needing to know is the thing that,
Yeah, that's
we
mine.
don't know how, it's going to be delivered to us. Remember that you are an instrument of the divine. So things will ebb and flow, and things are being rearranged as we speak. So you might not see the physical evidence of it like instantaneously, but things are shifting in a way that is beyond the logical mind, and tap into your essence. Richard says competence carries within it efficiency,
Mm.
enthusiasm, flair, flexibility, which are the four keys to material success.
Efficiency, enthusiasm, flair, and flexibility.
Yeah.
I like it. I don't think I've ever seen that, and I've even done the pearl sequence. So tell me where, I mean, I know we need to close because we're at time, but how can we call up or have I mean, even a mantra to, like lately it's just been, I breathe, therefore I prosper. I just keep saying that. And so when I slow down and breathe, I can feel that I'm prosperous, and then then the majestic hat. I mean, I don't know why, but my mind still
Yeah.
puts things in linear steps, but soon it'll maybe be all at the same time. Any other closing thoughts?
I'm in the
We didn't
flow.
do we didn't do the bounteousness.
Bounteous and bounteousness. I mean, wow.
What a word.
Majesty and bounteousness. What?
I know.
The
Oh my
strength,
God. My
the strength
queendom
of
is overflowing. I need to do some cleaning. So the bounteousness on your belly, on your solar plexus or your low, I go low on my solar plex and high on my sacral. Um, you put your right hand first and you put your left hand on top, which to me is the very receptive one. And you feel your hands, and then you feel your hands transmitting their warmth and energy into your belly. And you just imagine that that beautiful belly is your cauldron that's just being filled and overflowing with continued bounteousness. I breathe, therefore I prosper.
beautiful.
Till our next time together, breathe and prosper. All right.